Hello everyone, this is Gary Maloney for Sacktown Slam. And boy has it been a big weekend. But before I get to that, I want to get to a few of the more serious things. And number one, I wanted to just tell everyone and let everyone know that's been going through all of these hurricanes and all of these problems with the hurricanes that we're with you. We and I for anyone watching this, you should contribute, try to help. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to be the only guy with family and or friends down there in the south, or right now, even with the storm surges back east. I mean, these hurricanes, they're no joke, and the pattern that these hurricanes have had has just been, I mean, amazing is a little bit more of a positive connotation. I think destructive would be a more negative connotation for that. But regardless, you should donate, help. If you're around the area, try to get out and help those who are starving, who've been on the streets. I mean, it's bad out there. Anyway, the next thing I wanted to get to, which is also an unfortunate, was that Bobby the Brain Heenan passed this past weekend. And, this is a guy that I grew up watching in the 90s. He was a commentator, I believe, at that point. But he definitely was a big part of wrestling in general. And that guys like that, you don't find them very often, but when you do, it's a big deal. Definitely a big deal. One more thing, and this is a positive. First of all, I am now the timekeeper for the company that saw within themselves to give me a chance. SPW, the company that put Superior back into pro wrestling. And I want to give a big shout out to them, and that if you're ever in the Northern California area, I definitely urge you to go to one of their shows. They're the third Sunday of every month, and you want to talk about guys that don't just reach the bar, or set the bar. They are the bar. And I will tell you that these guys are the nicest people ever, and they bring it in the ring. So I cannot at all just express my thanks for even allowing me into that promotion. I mean, I'm a guy who's disabled in a wheelchair. A lot of people would think I don't belong around pro wrestling, but they deemed me worthy enough to do so. So thank you to everyone in SPW. Thank you to Sir Samurai. Thank you to Dominic. I mean, there's no shortage of thank yous on that one. So now, without further ado, we are going to talk some pro wrestling. And boy, let's talk a little about cleaning right now, because I think Raw needs to be cleaned up a little bit. So, but before I get to Raw, I do want to note that Shayna Baszler has officially been signed with WWE. She was backstage at the latest set of NXT tapings. So I get the feeling that she's going to be that fourth competitor, that we are going to see. So I would not doubt it at all if she's that fourth competitor in that match for the NXT Women's title. Anyway, let's get to Raw. And boy, Raw was definitely a crapshoot. But, I think that Monday Night Raw could have been much better, but there were just certain things that I didn't get or didn't see the logic in. So let's try to absorb all of this. First of all, they were in San Jose, which was cool. They have a house show up here in Sacramento, I believe tomorrow on Wednesday. So, but anyway, started off, GM Kurt Angle walks out to the ring to open the show. He says that he couldn't be any more excited about this Sunday's No Mercy pay-per-view. There are two matches that are WrestleMania caliber: Braun Strowman versus Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns versus John Cena. As Angle is talking, Intercontinental Champion The Miz comes out with the Miztourage to interrupt. Miz tells Angle it is ridiculous that No Mercy will be the second pay-per-view in a row now that the IC title hasn't been defended. Thank you, Miz. You are an annoying jackass, but thank you for pointing out the obvious to WWE, because it needs to be pointed out. Anyway, Angle says he was just about to announce a match with Elias, the Hardy Boys, and Jason Jordan to determine the number one contender to the title. Now, I like how they added Elias here. I think Elias, he's moving up the ladder. I think I think post WrestleMania next year, he's going to be in the hunt. If not, Royal Rumble, he could be in the hunt. I think Miz needs to remove himself from this situation, and I think it's time. Like when the Hardys break up, I think the IC title needs to be what they're fighting over. Because with all the behemoths on Raw right now, how is it believable that any of the Hardys or Elias or Jason Jordan or The Miz, which sounds like an incredible mid-card, are going to get to that Universal strap? It's just not happening. Anyway, Miz says that Jason Jordan, Angle's son, has gotten opportunities because he's the father. Anyway, Miz says he's giving all these guys chances and keeps overlooking two guys by Miz's side, Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel. They start to trade barbs, and Miz tells Angle that he's a deadbeat dad. Wow. Let's just dig this storyline even bigger. You're gonna be having a storyline with a broken freaking neck too after this. Jordan's music hits and he stomps to the ring. When Jordan gets to the ring, he yanks the mic out of Miz's hands, which was great, and tells him if he says one word about Angle, he'll knock his teeth down his throat. Jordan tells Angle to put Dallas and Axel in the match tonight. Miz says that just makes Jordan's chance to win that much less likely. Miz says Jordan is even more incompetent than his father. Jordan attacks Miz and they brawl and a bit before Miz and the Miztourage leave the ring and head up to the aisle as Jordan's music plays. Basically, this was to set up and Angle called it a 6-pack challenge. Like we haven't seen enough of those this year, you know. God, we're getting 6-pack challenges all over the place. Yeah. And guess what? There's a fatal 5-way for the women. Ooh, original. Not. Anyway, commercial break. Singles match versus Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax. Bell sounds and Bliss takes refuge in the ropes as Jax attempts to charge at her. They reset and Bliss rolls out of the ring to avoid Jax's charge this time. Back in the ring and Bliss grabs a waist lock, but Jax spins her hips and Bliss gets flung off. This was great. As she rolls outside the ring again to regroup, Bliss gets back in and tries to find some way to get an advantage, but Jax grabs her arm and hoists her into the air. Typical Nia Jax, I'm bigger than you, I'm going to throw you around type of crap. So Bliss tries to run away, but Jax grabs her and Bliss all caught up in the ropes. Bliss frees herself and starts to leave. Jax beckons her to come back to the ring, but Bliss is shaking her head, looking frightened as she makes her way up the aisle. Sasha Banks' music hits, and Bliss stops her in her tracks. And as Sasha comes out, Bliss turns around and gets nailed by a clothesline from Jax that levels her on the ramp, and boy howdy it did. Everybody was just looking back at her because she looked like a scared little puppy after that one. Then we go to another commercial. Ooh. Back again, and Bliss is taking a beating from Jax as Sasha stands on the outside. Sasha's just like looking at her like, okay, just beat the crap out of her. He makes it easier for me to pin her and win. Bliss moves as Jax comes running and slamming her in the corner. Bliss lands a drop kick and then goes to the ropes. She leaps off for a crossbody, but Jax catches her. Jax throws her up on her shoulder, delivers a Samoan drop, and gets the 3 count. Winner, Nia Jax. However, it was what was after the match was what was important, because everybody knew Nia Jax was going to annihilate freaking Alexa Bliss. She is small, and she's a toothpick. So whereas Nia Jax is the freaking Braun Strowman of the women's division. Anyway, after the match, Sasha Banks immediately jumps on Jax's back and starts wailing on her. Jax flings her off and looks at her as though she's about to squash Sasha like a bug. Suddenly, Bayley's music hits, and she comes out, making her return from a shoulder injury. Bayley, Bliss, and Sasha group together and end up driving Jax out of the ring. The 3 smaller women stand triumphantly together, jaw-jacking at Jax as she leaves. Bayley and Sasha embrace as friends. And Bliss tries to insert herself into the friendship as though they haven't always been enemies. Sasha and Bayley look up at Bliss awkwardly, and then Bayley gives a Bayley to belly as Bayley's music plays as her and Sasha pose for the crowd. Here's the thing. This was way too early to insert her into this match. And, you know, she was inserted into the Fatal 4-Way, which is now a Fatal 5-Way, you know. And I'm looking at this, and I'm just wondering about the booking. Did you just put, you know, Bayley in there just because? I mean, the whole point of this was for it to be a Fatal 4-Way. I'm sorry, but 5 women in one match, you're just booking women in that match just to have them there. And everybody knows that. Bayley hasn't been involved in anything. So, to what end does this make her worthy of a title shot? None. So, I'm going to give you a little prediction. I don't know if it's true, but if Sasha's going to turn on Bayley, a Fatal 5-Way may be the place to do it. You know, put a bank statement on Bayley, re-injure her shoulder, whether or not that happens, and then just make it happen like that. You know, I really feel like that would be the way to go. So, it is most definitely not the, you know, usual way things would get done, but it is what it is. It feels to me that it just doesn't make any sense. Why sit there and insert Bayley in something that had absolutely nothing to do with her? Like, it makes it feel even more like Emma is worthless. And this really should have been Emma saying, I'm the women's revolution. I'm the women's revolution. Nya, 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 nya. Again. And yet Emma got no time on this show, if you noticed that, which means she's taking the pinfall. Garen freaking T. She is there to take the pinfall. That's it. Anyway, next up, Sheamus and Cesaro come out for a match with Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. They start cutting a promo saying that they'll crush nostalgia acts like the Hardy Boys and the tag champs Rollins and Ambrose. Rollins and Ambrose come out, go figure, out and tell Cesaro and Sheamus that they are real brothers, and real brothers would never let each other come out dressed like Cesaro and Sheamus are right now. Gallows and Anderson come out and call everyone a bunch of nerds. Yes, they really just... That's their thing. They come out, call people nerds, and get their ass kicked. So, please, WWE, you need to understand these guys are New Japan certified. So, you know, let's move it on to they're the legit champs. Please. I mean, let's make if you want to make a 6-person feud out of this, that's fine. But, I mean, obviously you only have 6 people plus the Hardys who are really more singular title oriented at this point to work with. So, you need more tag teams. Make it happen. I keep hearing stuff about AOP going to SmackDown. Raw could use AOP just as much. Anyway, Rollins says that they shouldn't have said that. Ambrose looks as though he's about to pop a blood vessel. He says that no one calls him a nerd, and he attacks Gallows and Anderson. A brawl breaks out, and it goes to a commercial. Triple threat tag match. The Shield versus Sheamus and Cesaro versus the Club. I'm not going to keep saying everybody's name. The only one, I should just call them Cesaro. Or freaking whatever. Anyway, bell sounds and Rollins takes it to Sheamus. He knocks Sheamus down with a drop kick and tags in Ambrose. Ambrose rips some chops across Sheamus's chest, but then Sheamus pushes him into the corner where Gallows tags himself in. He lands a clubbing blow and to Sheamus's back. Sheamus fires back and they start to trade shots. They tie up and Sheamus pushes Gallows into the corner where Gallows tags himself in. Cesaro and Sheamus cycle tags and deliver offense to Gallows, cutting off the ring to him. Basically, you know what, cutting the ring off. They just cut it in half and they just completely beat the crap out of him. Back in the ring, Cesaro and Sheamus cycle against Ambrose. Anderson tags in and puts Ambrose in a side headlock, which looked very painful. Ambrose tries to fight back, but Anderson plants himself with a spine buster and pins for a near fall. Gallows tags in and executes a standing vertical suplex on Ambrose, which did look pretty good. Then he drops a series of elbows on Ambrose as Gallows jumps up for the last one. Ambrose moves and Gallows comes crashing down on the mat. Rollins tags in and he comes in hot. He starts beating everyone pillar to post. I mean, he's beating everybody down. He was like, nah, 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 nah. Just like, you can't stop me, you know. Come on. Rollins goes to the top. Oh, excuse me. Rollins comes in and he starts beating everyone put in the post. Rollins hits Cesaro with a blockbuster. That would be the spinning knee that he stole from this guy right here, by the way, you know. But anyway, Rollins goes to the top rope, but then Cesaro runs up to head him off. Cesaro attempts a suplex, but Rollins blocks it. Rollins does a sunset flip and gets Cesaro up. He buckle bombs Cesaro in the corner, but then Sheamus tags himself in. Sheamus and Rollins go at it, and then Gallows and Anderson end up in the ring and hit Rollins with a magic killer. Commercial break. Back again, and then Sheamus and Cesaro are laying and beating Rollins. Then hit Rollins with a 3D. And Cesaro pins, but Anderson runs in to break it up. Sheamus and Cesaro set up for another team move, but Rollins avoids it. Rollins hits Cesaro with a DDT, and then he gets a tag to Ambrose, who comes in fired up. He levels both Gallows and Anderson with clotheslines, and then hits Anderson with a neck breaker. Ambrose puts Anderson on the top rope and sets up for a suplex. He delivers it as they both crash to the mat on the outside. The suplex, by the way, was off the top rope to the outside of the ring. Ambrose then gets up to the top rope and leaps off with a flying elbow. He hits Anderson, but pins Cesaro, but Cesaro breaks up the pin. Excuse me. Rollins and Ambrose clear everyone out of the ring, and then hit double suicide dives. Yeah. First, they go in, they suicide dive to the people that, whether it be Gallows and Anderson, who I believe were on the left, and Sheamus and Cesaro, who were on the right. The crowd chants, "This is awesome," which it was. So Ambrose scraps it out with Anderson and plants him with a DDT. Rollins is outside fighting multiple adversaries. Sheamus runs in, throws Ambrose out of the ring, and pins Anderson himself. The ref counts to 3, and Sheamus and Cesaro get the win based off the work that Ambrose got onto Anderson. So, yeah, this is definitely going to bleed over into the pay-per-view. So, I like that. But looking like with Sheamus and Cesaro winning, they might retain that Ambrose and Rollins might retain. So, you never know. The cakes. Did I hit the right one? Okay, that's right. Goldust asks Kurt Angle for another shot at Bray Wyatt to redeem himself. Goldust doesn't have his face paint on, which, by the way, yeah, his face was totally clear of face paint. He had nothing. Angle tells him he doesn't, Goldust doesn't have his face paint. Angle tells him he doesn't know. Goldust says he's not asking as Goldust. He's asking as a man, Dustin Rhodes, and he's asking as a friend. Angle finally agrees, and Rhodes says that Bray Wyatt will never forget the name Dustin Rhodes. And then before it goes to commercial, he's like, you know, he looked like he was hyped about it. Then you go to a commercial break, and then you go to the loser of all losers, Curtis Hawkins, which I don't even want to spend time on. He has a 119, or an 0 and 119 losing streak. At this point, why is he even a thing? Like, why? This guy is known for being a loser. Like, how is that a thing? Like, if you suck enough, you're going to get credit for it? Then why isn't Bray Wyatt the WWE champion, considering his record? Or the Universal champion? You know, it's just like, whatever, you know? Anyway, he ended up having a match with Apollo Crews, which isn't even worth mentioning because, of course, Apollo Crews won. I think they're just sort of pushing Apollo Crews, and that's pretty much that. Then Michael Cole conducted an interview with the Universal Champion Brock Lesnar and Braun Strowman, which I can sum up in a few words. And if I was a parrot, my name would be Parrot Heyman. Rat, don't piss off the beast. Rat, don't break the 11th commandment. Rat, Suplex City, bitch. Rat, that was pretty much the interview. Yeah. So, and then, of course, you know, Braun Strowman, you know, just like, I'm not done with you yet. You can pretty much sum it up that way. And, you know, those two guys at No Mercy, that is the match. First of all, that match has to end in one way, because I don't want to wait until Royal Rumble or WrestleMania to see this title defended again. Drop the title to freaking Braun Strowman. He has got the hot hand. Let him have the ball and let him run with it. I'm sorry, but Brock Lesnar sucks right now. he does what? 4 shows? He wrestles 4 times a year and only on pay-per-view? Ooh, I'm the big scary guy from MMA that's kind of a washed up has-been now in MMA. Shayna Baszler would probably kick your sorry ass. But the fact of the matter is that in order to see this title defended past No Mercy, you have to drop the title. It is what is best for business, especially for when Samoa Joe comes back. Like, I would love to see Samoa Joe versus Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. To hell with Roman Reigns. Because no one wants to see the coronation of Roman Reigns for what, the 4th WrestleMania in a row? No. You got John Cena in a couple days. Let it be. Anyway, commercial break, and Roman Reigns comes out to the ring as the commentators hype the WrestleMania caliber. Why is it WrestleMania caliber? That's my question. I mean, yes, you have 2 faces of the company who have dropped some pretty good promos, but to me, you don't call it WrestleMania caliber until they've done what they needed to do in the ring. That is when it is WrestleMania caliber, not before. It's not a dream match until it actually happens. Now, you know, this has been hyped the way Cena and Nakamura should have been hyped. Cough, cough. But this has been hyped for a few weeks, and they've dropped some good promos. Now, Reigns started cutting a promo on Cena here. He says that Cena is a lot of, and he did say this, a lot of stupid shit, and they cut off the mic at shit, by the way. And the guys in the truck were ready to blank out that word blank it out during the swear word. You know, Cena said Reigns is trying to be the next John Cena. Reigns asked if he looks like a big-headed white guy with a military crew cut. And then Reigns was like, nah. Reigns says if he looked like that, he wouldn't have a job here in WWE. Just ask Alex Riley about that. Ooh, jab. Especially at Alex Riley. Ooh. And then Reigns shows a promo of Cena from 2012 during Cena's program with The Rock. And then when it is done, Reigns points out everything Cena said was a lie. Yeah, this was the promo that he cut right before, you know, talking about how when he was like saying, Rocky, don't go. And then Rock said he was back. And then he left and went to Hollywood again. You know, it was that interview. He played that interview and then he accused Cena of being everything that The Rock was at that point. Reigns tells Cena he's the biggest hypocrite in the WWE and that he will see him Sunday because Cena wasn't there. So there was no rebuttal. But as far as promos go, definitely one of the best ones I've seen Reigns give. So Reigns' promo ability, he's stepping it up for this match. And as much as I hate to say it, I'm actually somewhat looking forward to this match. Somewhat being the case because Reigns' promo ability may or may not, it's good, but his wrestling ability, you know, I don't know who's going to bury who here, but it is going to be a burial for someone on Sunday, and it sucks. because it's either going to be you're not the man, so get out of the upper echelon, or it's going to be this is, you're the new replacement for Cena, which I don't agree with either. I mean, I love what he does, but it is time for a new face. Commercial break, and the Hardys are interviewed backstage ahead of the six-pack challenge for the IC title. And then the number one contender spot tonight. They are both in the match, and they say, "Let the best Hardy win." Matt did not give too many shades of broken during that interview, so he had the chance to say wonderful and this and that, and he didn't do it. So I don't know. It's interesting that didn't happen. Singles match: Bray Wyatt versus Dustin Rhodes. Bell sounds, Rhodes comes out swinging, Irish whip, and Bray Wyatt is leveled by a clothesline. Bray rolls outside, regroups, back inside, and Bray takes control of Rhodes. They scrap on the outside. Rhodes manages to throw Bray into the barricade and then into the steel steps. Rhodes delivers a running bulldog on Bray onto the outside and lands a series of punches. Bray comes back and knocks Rhodes down with a shoulder block. Back in the ring, Rhodes sets up Bray in the corner and delivers Shattered Dreams, which looked really awesome. They move to the center of the ring, and suddenly, out of nowhere, Bray grabs Wyatt for a Sister Abigail, pins, 3 count. Not much. I think they were trying to finish in time for what happened afterwards, which was Balor comes on the screen. He starts telling Bray a story about a little boy who read stories about gods and monsters while the other little boys were out playing. And this little boy became a man, and this man created a demon. And Balor wanted to ask Bray one important question. If the demon is a creation of the man, who is more dangerous at No Mercy, the man or the demon? The thing is they're trying to build this around Balor, the man, Finn Balor, facing Bray Wyatt, because he thinks without the demon that, Bray Wyatt isn't anything. Yeah, he's going to find out at No Mercy exactly who's in charge. And hopefully they can freaking stop this feud. Because why are they fighting? Why? Why? I don't... I mean, obviously, this is WWE's play on just a guy who wants to act like a preacher versus a guy who sees himself as a deity, but that should have been better explained. Because to me, they're just fighting because someone told them to fight. Let's see where this goes. And hopefully, this ends at this pay-per-view, but you never know. You really don't. Commercial break. Enzo comes out and starts cutting a promo, and I'm not even going to bother with this, because this is what happened. Strowman comes out, buries Enzo, gives him a choke slam. Then Neville came out with a smile on himself, gets up on the ring and hits a red arrow. Boom. That was pretty much it. And then the crowd was chanting "Thank you, Strowman" when he was beating the crap out of Enzo. I think the fans are kind of turning on Enzo. Because Enzo, he's a derp. He doesn't have any ring talent. He talks. He needs to be a manager, not a wrestler. And I get the fact that there is no big cast, but have him manage somebody. That would be a better use of his time. I mean, throwing him in the ring with how little he knows would be like throwing me in the ring. You know, I would suck as bad as he sucks, and he sucks pretty bad. So anyway, then you had Neville versus Grand Metalik. Yay! WWE is finally giving some notice to Grand Metalik. Finally. But, okay. Now I want to get, okay. At the beginning of the match, he leveled Grand Metalik and pushed him out of the ring, and he starts tearing off Metalik's mask. Now, the importance of that is that when you are a luchador, that's sacred. I mean, that is something you do not do. And he did it. And I have a feeling that Metalik may be the next one in line. And because I hope to God Enzo does not take that title off of Neville. That's no. That is thumbs down if that happens. I mean, more than likely, this is going to be the pre-show match because the cruiserweights don't matter to WWE. Guarantee you get Grand Metalik and Neville in there for something serious. It's going to matter. But that ain't no pre-show match. I'll tell you that much right now. But I will tell you this. Okay. Back in the ring, and Metalik hits a missile drop kick on Neville. Neville ends up outside, and Metalik does a flip over the top rope onto him. They get back inside, and Metalik hits an elbow off the rope and pins for a 2 count. Metalik goes for a moonsault, but Neville gets his knees up. Yeah, he hit him right in the stomach, too. That looked really painful on a moonsault. Neville latches onto Metalik with the Rings of Saturn and forces him to tap out. Neville lets out some deep breath as he staggers to his feet, relieved at escaping with a victory, because he did escape with a victory. And if they're grooming Metalik to be the next one, do it. Metalik is the man. He is the real deal. If you were not going to give it to Tozawa, give it to Metalik. I do not want to see this title come this January still on Neville. No title should be on anyone for 12 months. No. Commercial break. Elias is in the ring to play a musical number talking some major crap about San Jose. I don't even quite imagine. I don't quite remember, but it was like, San Jose sucks. You know, your typical Elias hazing of a town. Anyway, as Elias is playing his hilarious song, it is unfortunately cut short as the Hardy Boys music hits and they come out to the ring together. The rest of the competitors come out to their respective entrances, blah, 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 blah. Yes, because, yeah. Anyway, Miz comes out to sit inside at ringside, and the Miztourage to watch his Miztourage compete. The bell sounds, and a brawl ensues. Jeff fights Axel, Elias fights Jordan, and Matt fights Dallas. Jeff throws Axel out of the ring. The ring is cleared suddenly, and Jeff rolls up Matt. Now, that's something I want to talk about. Matt and Jeff were kind of going at each other a little bit in this match. If Matt goes broken, I think one of the ways he might do it is getting away from Jeff. Then Matt goes to SmackDown. Jeff stays on Raw, can do whatever he wants with his spot monkey addictions, and we can just be happy with what we got. But, it's very interesting how that happened, because that happened like twice in this match. Okay, Matt kicks out. They get to their feet, and Matt cracks a smile and acknowledges the fair play. Commercial break. Back again, and everyone is in the ring brawling. Matt hits Dallas with a belly-to-back suplex and pins him for a 2 count. Elias hits a backbreaker on Jordan. Elias, go Elias. Anyway, Elias, Dallas, and Axel are tentatively working together as they stomp Matt in a corner. Then Elias breaks their alliance and attacks Axel from behind. He takes both Dallas and Axel out. Then he puts Jordan on the top rope and goes up for a suplex. Jordan knocks him back, but Elias runs back and one knee jumps back up to the top rope. The Miz Taraj come up and knock him to the outside. The Miz Taraj set up for a double suplex, but then the Hardys come up from behind them. The Hardys come up from behind them and deliver their suplex at the same time as the Hardys powerbomb them. The Hardys throw Elias off into the corner and deliver some poetry in motion. They didn't have any problem getting along on that one. The Hardys throw Elias into the corner and then Matt quickly rolls up Jeff, who kicks out. Matt follows up with the side effect for a 2 count. That was on Jeff, by the way. Dallas grabs Matt and throws him shoulder first into the ring post. Jordan starts to get fired up, and he delivers epic suplexes to Dallas and Axel. He delivers a double dose to Axel. You know that belly to back suplex that he does, that sunset suplex. That is Suplex City, bitch, right there. Oh my goodness. Like, if there is Suplex City, I think the next one's gonna be definitely there's definitely going to be Jason Jordan. He delivers some epic suplexes to Dallas and Axel. He delivers a double dose to Axel into a bridge, but Dallas breaks up the pin. Jordan is thrown out of the ring by the Miz because there's no disqualification in this situation, and Miz starts throwing him into the barricade. In the ring, Matt hits a twist of fate on Dallas and pins, but Elias breaks the pin. Jeff hits a jawjacker on Axel, and then an introverted atomic drop on Elias. Jeff connects with a twist of fate on Axel, and then lands a swanton. He pins Axel, but Miz runs in and breaks the pin. Miz is cleared out of the ring, and Axel hits Jeff with a move. I don't even remember what it was. It just says a move on the description. Jordan runs in and hits a belly to back neck breaker on Axel and pins for a 3 count. Jordan is the number 1 contender and will face Miz for the IC title at No Mercy. Now, this Miz and Jordan go face to face in the ring. Miz then starts to sarcastically clap and congratulates Jordan until he takes a swing. Jordan ducks and starts hitting a series of gigantic suplexes on the Miz. The Miz Taraj runs in and rescue the Miz, and they all beat down Jordan and the Miz and Jordan with a skull-crushing finale. The Miz hits Jordan with a skull-crushing finale. He grabs a mic and says at No Mercy, Miz will still be champion, and afterwards, Kurt Angle will still be a terrible father, and Jordan will still be a bastard. And that is how they went off the air. Bottom line, I mean, Raw was passable. The thing is, though, is that if they really were going to build up Jason Jordan as the contender to the IC title, it needed to happen after Jeff Hardy lost that title match. I really feel like the build-up with this was very lackluster. And the IC title basically being the only title to be held or to be defended, because Brock Lesnar, God forbid he ever defend his title or wrestle on TV. The fact is, the IC title is the it factor until Brock Lesnar drops that title. So this really, I mean, a lot of people saw it going in this direction, but it really needs to continue to go in this direction in the future. And you need to stop treating, the WWE just needs to stop treating the IC title like it's a prop. It is not a prop. It is a symbol of pride. It is showing that you have a mid-card. It is showing that you have, a stock in your guys that are moving up. It is the working man's title. Let them work for it. Just don't arbitrarily say, well, we don't have anybody, so here, you get that title shot. No. It has never and should never be treated as such. Quite frankly, that is U.S. title territory. That's why they have a U.S. Open Challenge. IC title means you made it in that business, that you made it a thing. Miz has had that title for too long. It's time for him to lose it, and if he keeps it after No Mercy, I will be disappointed. He has been fighting for that title for almost a year, on and off. I am sorry, but Miz needs to lose it, and it needs to stay off the Miz for a year at least. Miz has had that title for far too long. It is time to take your younger talent, like your Finn Balor's, your Jason Jordans. If you want to give Jeff Hardy a shot with it, I am absolutely okay with that too. Fresh faces and make for great champions. Especially a guy like Jeff or Matt, who are excellent at what they do. So just let it be with the Miz. Let Miz earn his way up the card again. Because there comes a time where you go to the back of the line and you have to, rebuild your brand, as much would say. So, that is my personal opinion. As far as anything else, why you have someone like Bayley in the women's title match at No Mercy makes no sense. None. Like, this was way out of left field. Didn't need to happen. You should have brought her back either at the pay-per-view to help out Sasha, unless your ultimate plan is to have Sasha have the bank statement and win by making Bayley tap. If that is not your intention, you brought Bayley back for nothing. Zilch. Because I don't want to see them hand the title to Bayley. Bayley hasn't earned it. Bayley was out with freaking injury. Come on. Come on. This is ridiculous, right? I just, it doesn't add up and it doesn't make sense. Make it make sense. That is all us fans are asking. As far as Jason Jordan and the Intercontinental title, Miz has been poking the bear. Miz, I think, has also been... This thing is started kind of at SummerSlam with an out-of-nowhere match, basically. And where no one freaking saw it, by the way. But I think a lot more people in Los Angeles, they're going to be there at No Mercy, right here in California. Yay! And I guarantee California is going to give the Intercontinental title a lot more respect than New York did. Hate to say it that way, hate to put it that way, but wow. I think I don't need to have any predictions on that one. That's what's going to happen. So... that was my Raw review for today. I will have a SmackDown review probably up tonight, if possible, or tomorrow. I'll probably do the video today and have it up by tomorrow, because I want to put this one up today, as it is Tuesday, and I am a little late to the Raw review party. But no matter what, this is Gary Maloney here for Sacktown Slam, and I am signing off.